Let's come up with one, not three,
One thing.
explanation of what happened. A few years ago, I swear the online and TV airways were just flooded with ads for the morning show. A star-studded drama pulling back the curtain on morning television. I'm making a face, but I was excited for it. I watched seasons 1 and 2 about a year and a half ago, and I started to write a video about it, and then I scrapped it. But a couple months ago, season 3 came out, and I watched an episode or two of that, and I was like, I need to revive this video because this show is off the rails. Season 1 and season 2 are two completely different shows. This video is really about season 2, but for some context, I'm going to give you season 1 condensed as much as I possibly can. So, Mitch Kessler, co-anchor of the morning show, has been fired on account of multiple sexual misconduct allegations against him. Over in Virginia, Bradley Jackson, a local reporter, has a public freakout and goes viral, and via a number of kooky antics ends up co-hosting the morning show in Mitch's place with Alex Levy. Daniel, another morning show anchor, is frustrated that he isn't getting this opportunity and feels that he's being treated unfairly because he's black and also maybe because he's gay. Put a pin in that. Bradley does an interview with one of Mitch's victims where she implies that there may have been a cover-up culture at the morning show, and so then they have to launch an investigation into that. And we, the viewer, find out that Fred, who's the president of the network, has played a significant role in this culture. Mitch goes to Bradley and says that he wants to do a tell-all interview on the morning show about this cover-up culture, and Bradley says that she would maybe be interested, but only if he can get someone to corroborate his story. So he brings in Hannah, the head booker, and we find out that Mitch sexually assaulted Hannah when she was a junior booker, and when she tried to report it to Fred, he told her that she'd been promoted to head booker. Hannah agrees to talk to Bradley about Mitch as long as she can remain anonymous, and then becomes a part of a bigger scheme from Corey, who's the head of news, and Chip, who is Alex's producer, to unseat Fred. And that night, one of the PAs finds Hannah OD'd in her apartment. Alex freaks out during the broadcast and starts pacing around the set, which leads to some very comical shots of Bradley talking while Alex walks in front of and behind her. The two of them go rogue on air and announce that Fred was the one behind the culture of silence. Inspirational piano music plays, everyone's crying, the broadcast gets cut off. Credits. So there's a little bit of context and groundwork so we can talk about season 2. Hello.
Hi.
We just got back from watching episode 10.
This is just so unfucking believably ridiculous. Here's what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. They made a show, one season.
Yeah.
And it was way more popular than they maybe even expected. And then they're like, oh, people liked it. Hey, Mikey, let's do another one. But they had no fucking story. They didn't.
Yeah.
They never pitched it to Apple as a multi-season.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, okay, well, we'll just make it about COVID.
And cancel culture.
Oh my God. Season 1 was actually good though. But anyway, I've already digressed. Let's go to your notes.
Let's go to my notes. Alex is living in a picturesque house in Maine, writing her memoir, perfectly made up, and also chopping her own wood.
Right. I remember this.
Corey finds her chopping wood.
Corey, who's like the imp that won't stop.
Oh, I love Corey. I think I love Corey.
He's so unlovable.
He's camp.
You're just so caught up in ruling over your rotten little fiefdom that you don't even see the world that is sprouted up all around you.
And I loved
Corey's
Billy Crudup. He made Almost Famous.
Wait, he was Almost Famous?
Yes.
He's so silly.
No, the word isn't silly. The word is unrealistic. For a person of that stature running a television station.
The show doesn't know what it is.
No, it doesn't.
That's the problem. Because Corey is a hilarious character that does not fit the rest of the show. He's deranged and he speaks in soliloquies.
It's gonna rise. It's gonna rise from the ashes like Venus out of the clamshell, and you are Venus.
Sometimes the show is aware of that, but it doesn't make sense because it wants to be a soapy drama.
I'll tell you something else. Every show has a different writer and a different director. There's no consistency. Succession, it's always what's his name? He is the head writer. He
Jesse
oversees
Armstrong.
everything. And the writing in this is all over the place. And the characters are never the same from episode to episode because different people are writing them with different degrees of empathy for specific characters. I think season 1 was a well done expose of what it was like to work someplace where there was real harassment going on. Season 2 was like, oh, we gotta do another season. What do we do?
Well, season 2, it was like they were like, oh, you know what's gonna ruffle feathers is if we show like the other side of the Me Too movement. Like they portray cancel culture as like the flip side of Me Too. They're trying to frame this like Mitch is a victim of Me Too as much as Hannah is a victim of Me Too, except that Mitch is living in a mansion in Italy and Hannah is dead.
And oh, by the way, he's not a victim of Me Too.
And also he's not a victim.
You cannot call the predators when they get called out. Oh, now they're victims.
Yeah. The beginning of Mitch's arc is that he gets attacked by like a caricature of like a triggered liberal.
Well, I'm sorry, your fragile, straight white male ego can't handle someone eviscerating it with the truth. Pathetic.
Oh, this is in Italy, right?
It's called feminism. Look it up.
Look it up. This is Mitch is eating his gelato like a little baby small bean. And he's like, please don't yell at me. Please be quiet. Please let other people eat their gelato.
I'm not asking you to shut up. I was just asking you to talk directly to me in a normal tone of voice so we don't spoil everybody else's gelato.
And then Paula sings Giovinezza.
Giovinezza, giovinezza, primavera di bellezza.
Because there was a history major on the writing staff who keeps putting in these weird historical references.
It has nothing to do with the storyline, but makes that person feel like...
Archduke Franz Ferdinand is somewhere in there.
And I probably assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand. I mean, this fucking list goes on.
Oh, this is also the episode with Alex's insane nipple dress.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's like, what? Who put her in that? Alex asks Chip to be her producer again. Their relationship this season is a lot like Selena Meyer and Gary, except that in that it's like
funny.
Like
and this is
played
like
totally
painful.
Straight.
Yeah, I think the analogy to the Veep is actually a good one because I think Gary was in love with Selena, and I think they're trying to tell us that Chip is kind of in love with her because she throws it out at him at some point. She's like, "Oh, you're just bitter because I won't like sleep with you." Right.
You don't get it. You'll never get through that thick fucking head of yours, and I don't want to suck your dick. Never, ever, never. Okay?
Which, I mean, to that point, he does ditch his fiance to go get COVID from
Oh, is that
Alex.
is that how the relationship ends?
Yeah, because in season 3, he's with the woman who screams at him that he's a mediocre white man, Alex's assistant. When she runs off to Italy, she doesn't tell anyone that she's going.
Right.
And then Chip goes to her apartment and her assistant is there, and there's this weird scene that feels totally out of place with the rest of the show.
Mediocre white men.
What are you talking about?
You're always fucking things up for everybody and you're always first in line for second chances. You're not exceptional. I'm sorry you're not, and I am so sick of it. Oh my god, what a fucking load.
The only way that I can think is like if they had showed a character with that scene where she'd just broken up with her boyfriend. And then this happened.
Right. He knew everything about her. He knew her passwords, and that was
another like Gary scene for me when he was like saying like her first car.
What is the name of your childhood best friend?
Colleen.
And what is your mother's maiden name?
Lasign.
And what is the year, make, and model of your first car?
1976 Plymouth Duster.
And for security purposes, what's the name associated with the account?
It's my name, Alex Levy.
And then Daniel's in Wuhan. He wants to report on COVID, but he gets bumped. And it's like this subplot that's really a sub.
Yeah, they just kind of touched on everything.
Well, with Daniel, it's like he gets like a millisecond of screen time. His story serves a purpose, but they pay so little attention to it that it reflects on them.
What is the purpose that it serves?
Well, it's about how like people of color are being overlooked in this workplace because everything revolves around
But that's what they did.
But
They
that's what they do in the show.
overlooked him in the script.
That's what I'm saying. They try to do this thing where they're like, oh, the morning show, the show within the show is all about these two white ladies and everyone else falls to the wayside. But then the morning show, the show that we're watching, is also just about these two white ladies and everyone else falls to the wayside. So it's like, why even bother writing this character where it's like, oh, I'm being cast to the side because I'm black. And then they cast him to the side.
Because there's that self-unaware.
It's a stunning lack of self-awareness.
Stunning lack.
We haven't hit the Laura and Bradley plot yet, where Laura Laura is sent to go shadow Bradley for a day, and then Laura goes, did you actually get vetted for this job? And then that leads Bradley to kiss her. That's the line that precedes it.
I don't get why Bailey would have any interest in Laura. I don't know why Laura would like try to. It's just so silly. It's like, oh, it's like cringy.
Yeah,
It's like cringy.
Episode 4, Alex is canonically friends with Dave Grohl.
Oh. It's like, okay, there's another example of season 2. They were just grabbing it. Anything. We don't have a storyline. We can get the Foo Fighters. Let's get the Foo Fighters. Yeah.
We get multiple conflicting explanations for why Corey has his job still.
When did he lose his job?
After the news broke, Fred was put on leave and Corey was fired, I guess for letting it happen. Alex left and Bradley was suspended. So then while Bradley was still suspended, she went to the board and demanded that Fred be fired and Corey not only reinstated, but made president of the network.
And Bradley got this done, even though she wasn't on staff.
Despite her only being at the show for 3 weeks at that point.
Oh my God.
And being currently suspended, they listened to her and fired Fred and reinstated Corey. And then Daniel was back from Wuhan. He's pissed.
Is that when he sings?
That's when he sings.
Oh my God.
Today! Yeah! Today!
They don't cut away for some reason. They would have immediately cut that feed.
Yes. You're right. You couldn't just sing that on.
You can't just sing a song on air without getting the rights to it.
Right.
And this is the most basic thing in the world that a TV writer, by virtue of being in the industry,
would know better.
Writing for TV.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Better. Like,
they would cut him off right away because they'd get sued. They would have to pay a huge fee for using that song without the copyrights. Yes.
And then Paula might have COVID, so she and Mitch are quarantining together.
Okay. I did not want to see Mitch's relationship in his Italian villa. I just didn't want to see it.
And they didn't do anything to make it like, oh, he's changed. It's just like, oh, now he's a small bean in a sweater. Do you see Mitch? He's wearing sweaters now. So then we retcon again that Fred actually engineered his own departure and told Corey to give him a golden parachute.
I am Nixon and you are my Ford. You give me my pardon and my exit package, and I get on that helicopter and fly off into the sunset.
Okay, Corey doesn't give him a golden parachute.
Corey is his underling.
Is his underling, and your golden parachute is dependent on what you signed on for when you took the job.
And then we get our third explanation. Flashback of Bradley telling Corey that she's gonna say she's not going back unless they rehire him. Which doesn't make any sense because she was suspended, so it's not really up to her whether or not she goes back.
I think Corey wanted her back, right?
But Corey was fired.
Oh my God. This is what they did. They broke everything up so they could bring it back together again. Instead of just starting the show where they left off, they didn't want to do that. That would have been work.
They had to.
So they flung them across the country. And then it was we got to get the band back together. That's right. For like 3 episodes, they were like trying to pull. And then all of a sudden, it was the same fucking show. that we left them.
But they didn't. No one in the writer's room was like, how about before we start writing, let's come up with what happened between then and now. Let's come up with not 3,
one thing
explanation of what happened. Because not only are we getting conflicting explanations of how this happened, we're getting conflicting explanations from the same person.
Oh, from Riley?
No, yeah, from Bradley.
Why would they want her back?
Why would they want her back? She is a giant liability.
Right. She was nothing but liability to begin with.
The only person who liked her
was Corey,
who was
fired.
She says something where it's like, there's certain privileges that we would have if we weren't co-workers, and then she caresses his face.
You get the feeling that he likes her. There's no question.
But her caressing his face is out of nowhere. Corey is sad about Bradley and Laura again, and they show him being like... Stella gets harassed on the street for being Asian.
Hey, take your virus and go back to China.
What?
And then Yanko punches the guy out.
Which did not save him.
And in fact got him suspended, and then he's like, you can't fucking win around here.
Because you're not supposed to be winning. You're supposed to be acting like an adult. You're not supposed to be punching people when you're on the morning news.
Yanko's like, what am I supposed to do? And Stella goes, the weather.
She does have some deadpan lines that are fun.
I like Stella. Mia gets a scoop. Maggie's book will say Mitch targeted black women. Alex shows up at Mitch's mansion to demand that he publicly say that they didn't have sex.
Too late. Because it's in the book. They're not like computers where you can go in and erase. It's a book. It's printed. It's bound. It's put in a bookstore or a library.
Again, if I want to be really, really charitable to the show, which I don't, this is something Selena Meyer would do. Selena Meyer would go to some guy, her like personal trainer, and be like, personal trainer played by that guy that was in that one commercial that you did.
Yeah.
You need to come out and say that we didn't have sex. And the personal trainer would be like, have you heard of the Streisand effect? It would be played for laughs.
Right.
That she wants him to make a public statement of what they didn't do.
But the truth is, we don't want to hear about how women are still madly in love with Mitch Kessler. We just don't want to hear it.
Well, I hate to tell you, they're about to dance to Stand By Me and fall asleep together.
That's what I'm saying.
And then this thing comes out about how he targeted black women, and she's like, I can't be associated with you if you're also
associated with
racist.
Black women.
No. But he reacts to this with this righteous indignation, and he's like, I remember a time when it was considered progressive to be attracted to black women.
I'm attracted to them. I'm old enough to remember when that was considered progressive.
And it's to use black women.
It's like, whatever.
Oh my God.
First of all, where did Sweater Mitch go?
It was progressive to target black women sexually in the workplace. I can't even believe they wrote that line.
You know what? It's fine for him to oscillate, to go between being sorry and then being angry. But we've spent 7 episodes with him on this redemption arc, so it feels like the show expects us to side with him here, where he's like, oh, so now I'm in trouble for being attracted to black women? And it's like, no.
No, but they're clearly in a much more challenging place in the workplace, and you took advantage of the fact that they needed...
Yeah, that they needed
a advocate in the way of someone like you.
And then Mitch goes to Paula's house, and they have sex, and then Mitch drives off a cliff like a martyr.
It was a little far-fetched of a way to go, but they knew, all right, we gotta kill him off.
He's gotta go.
What do we do? He's just gonna drive. You know how bad the roads are in Italy.
Episode 8. This is actually a good episode.
It was, because it was almost realistic. It danced on the pin of almost feeling like there was some research done.
Right. The whole, we have to get 2 confirmations, and we have to let the family know before we publish anything. And it was like, okay, this is fun, and this is cool, and I'm into this.
Is this when she goes and tells the wife?
Yes.
That was the best scene of the entire season.
She gets her ass handed to her.
Most of the time, I had no idea who those girls were, so what difference did it make? But you knew me. And unlike all those other poor girls, you didn't have to do it, did you?
I'm sorry. When Alex decides she needs to be the one to tell the wife that her husband is dead, it should come from me.
It should come from me.
Since I was the one who had an affair with him, and it was in a book, and she knows about it.
You two were made for each other. You might even be the same person, for all I can tell, so I'm sorry for your loss.
That was classic.
And again, it's like, okay, this would be so good if Selena Meyer did it.
Right. That would be a Selena Meyer would do something
Selena
that's
Meyer
stupid.
moment.
They're showing us what an awful person she is, but then she lectures us for thinking she's so awful.
She's a terrible person the whole show, and then she lectures us at the end, and it's so undeserved. Okay, Hal shows up at the studio and trashes the place, Bradley's brother. Exceedingly unrealistic that he would actually get in there, but it makes for good drama.
And then that he would break up the break room, which
Right.
is basically what he did. They don't let imbalanced people near the coffee maker.
But fine, because it makes for some good drama. I actually believe Reese Witherspoon when she cries. Chip tells Alex she shouldn't go to the funeral because she really shouldn't be in crowded spaces, and Alex is like,
it's not your job to protect me anymore.
Which is like another great Alex being a terrible person and only thinking about herself moment. But the show can't just suck it up and admit that their protagonist is horrible. Martin Short's character, whose name is Dick, he gives a really tiresome speech about cancel culture.
Cause of death? Cancel culture.
That you would think is like supposed to be bad because this character has previously been an asshole and also people are like, shut up. But then we get this insert shot of Paula laughing and
it does not know what it's trying to say, this show.
Yeah. Okay, so then Bradley defends Alex on air. It was a mistake. It happened 10 years ago. Alex, earlier in this episode, says that she doesn't regret it one bit.
The affair?
Yeah.
Oh, to him?
No, to Corey.
Oh, really?
She tells Corey,
your feminist hero slept with the enemy, and she doesn't regret it one bit.
Bradley scolds Maggie for writing about the old Alex Levy. There is, to be fair, no indication of a new Alex Levy.
Right, at all.
She literally just got back from trying to get Mitch to lie. She's been awful to everyone all season, up to and including, like, right before this episode we just watched.
Right.
Alex has stage 4 terminal COVID, and this is supposed to humanize her after she's been a horrible person all season.
But they do this whole drama. Oh, I know. We're going to shoot you with COVID and show America what it's like. Which would have made sense if they shot her in her bed, in her pajamas, shown how bad this really is. But then they go through this whole thing of making her up and putting her in clothes and drying her hair.
Vitamin cocktail goes here.
Oh my! What is that? She's already taking Ozempic?
And then she goes on a long rant about how unfair everyone is to her just because she's famous. And it shouldn't really matter whether she's a good person because she's just there to do her job.
And she was a little girl once, too.
I was a kid, like anyone else.
I was a kid like anyone else?
I took my first steps.
What?
Like anyone else. Had my first love, my first heartbreak.
Oh!
She goes, do you care who your tailor sleeps with as long as your pants fit? And it's like...
Oh my god. That is like... so not the point.
Yeah. Everyone is piling on her for no reason. It's like she is doing things and then people are calling her out for the things that she did.
She doesn't want to be called out for them.
I'm done apologizing for myself. Either get on the Alex Levy train or just stay at the station.
That was the most obnoxious line I think I've heard ever.
I'm hard-pressed to remember a time when she has publicly apologized for herself on this show. Alex has done so much shit that she has not had to apologize for, and that everyone else has covered up for her.
Yeah, they cover up for her.
But we've got Chip here nodding like, yeah, Alex, you tell him. Corey tells Bradley that he loves her out of nowhere.
I love you.
And it's very strange. Bradley gets the call that her brother might be in the ER. Genuinely astonishing sequence of Bradley in this packed ER, cutting to the front of the crowd and being like, no, you don't understand. My brother might be in there. As if everyone else is just like hanging out.
Right.
Like they don't have important things to attend to.
Or people in the ER that they want to see that they're not allowed back there. And it takes like, I don't know, half an hour for them to go, hey, you don't belong back here.
Yeah, authorized personnel only, and she just goes in and nothing happens. It was a jaw-dropping moment.
Yeah.
Of like, we're supposed to sympathize with Bradley right now.
Right.
We're supposed to go, oh my god, this is so sweet. When she has snuck into
an emergency room during COVID.
And she's not wearing a mask.
She's not wearing a mask. It was egregious.
The effort to build emotional stories around these characters.
Who are emotionally devoid of any real substance.
There's just such a disconnect between how they act and how the show wants us to see them.
The rigor that is necessary to create consistent, real characters was never there. And especially Jennifer Aniston is a caricature of her own caricature of herself. She's just always pissed off.
It's like they think that by nature of being the protagonist,
they have to be
redeemable.
Liked. Right. And she's not redeemable.
She's not redeemable. The only reason that she is redeemed is because she's the main character of the show.
And that's where the flaw is stop trying to redeem her.
Stop trying to redeem her. She's not redeemable. She sucks.
Right.
Just let her suck.
But they made her that way. Like starting episode 2, she could have had humility. Mm-hmm. She could have all sorts of things. But they made her insufferable.
There are clearly different writers who are writing different episodes, and it's clear that they never like got together and decided
all right, this is the arc, right? That's what I feel like with this. Like I feel like
this feels like
they are not writing from a place of authenticity or truth. They're writing from a place of cliche and expected, and they're also kind of writing Rachel. They keep making Jennifer Aniston Rachel, and it doesn't work anymore. This has been UBA. I mean, the worst initials that they could have pulled out of the alphabet. UBA, Uba. Thank you for tuning into Uba.
Okay.
Uba, Shaga.
All right, thank you.
No, thank you. That was really funny. It was fun. A lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
All right.